Hi everybody, your resident Gemini, Maria Rieger here with another astrology video. Today we'll be talking about Gemini kids, specifically how to get your Gemini child to do chores and help out more at home. Before we get into it, hit like on this video, hit subscribe to get my regular parenting content. I'll be doing about a video per week, so hit subscribe below to get regular parenting tips for all different zodiac signs. So last week we talked about generally how to parent your Gemini child. Today we'll be talking specifically about how to get your Gemini child to help out more at home. Our kids have been home with us now for the most part all day for the past several months, and I'm sure you would like to know how to get them to help out, pitch in more at home. Every kid is different. Gemini, it takes a little bit of a different angle to kind of motivate them to do chores and get things done. Signs like Capricorn and Virgo may be more comfortable with the responsibility. You may, tell your Capricorn child what to do and give him a list, and he may just go ahead and do it, because Capricorns have a very strong sense of responsibility and duty. In fact, when we talked about Capricorn kids a couple months ago, I mentioned that parents need to take care to not give too much adult level responsibility to Capricorn children, because those children are very, very comfortable taking on extra responsibility, which may be too burdensome for them as kids. Virgo is a sign that's very ordered. They like order and stability. They may be more willing to take the initiative to pick things up, order things, make sure everything is in its place at home. But Gemini is very different. Gemini is an air sign. It's mentally scattered. Gemini has a very optimistic, kind of carefree, positive outlook on life. They don't like drudgery. They don't like the rote, non-intellectual tasks, and most household chores fall into that category. So for your Gemini children, you need to have a positive outlook on household chores. In my house, we don't call them chores because it has a negative connotation. We call them tasks or activities. And the attitude regarding chores should be, these are tasks we need to do to help the team out at home as a family, right? To keep the household running. They're not chores. They're not things that we do because we hate ourselves or we're full of self-loathing. We want to punish ourselves. They're just things we need to do to run the home, to help the team, right? So if you have more of a positive outlook on that, that's helpful. Do not treat chores as punishment, because the child will grow up associating helping out the team, helping at home, with being punished, and he will be much less likely to help his partner run a household if he has this negative feeling about doing the household tasks, if he associates them with him getting in trouble and being punished. And that's not what chores are. They're not punishment. To help the team. That's what you have to keep in mind, right? Do not treat chores, to that end, don't treat chores like abhorrent soul-sucking activities if you want your kid to do them. Make them as fun as possible. You can put on an audiobook while you do chores. You can put on music, put on the TV if that's appropriate. Also, doing tasks together at home is a great way for you to bond with your Gemini child and initiate them in conversation about whatever is on their minds. Gemini children, Gemini moon children especially, love to talk, and one of the main ways they bond, especially with parents, is through talking and communicating. So use that time when you do things together to talk to them about whatever they feel like talking about. That's perfect opportunity for that, in kind of a low stress, low pressure way. So Geminis are also, it's a highly logical sign. So a lot of the times, myself included, they will not see the point in, for example, picking up all the toys when you're just going to take them out and play with them again tomorrow and have to pick them up tomorrow. Why bother wasting the time to pick them up today? Well, to get past that, appeal to your Gemini child's sense of logic. Tell him or her, we pick the toys up because we don't want to accidentally trip on them and get injured. Or you need to pick up your dirty towel and clothes after your shower and put them in the hamper so that they eventually make their way, get down to the laundry room and get washed and cleaned. So when you take that time to explain things to them, they'll think, oh yeah, that makes sense. I'll do that because it makes sense. So definitely you want to appeal to the Gemini sense of logic. That takes extra effort, that takes time to do, but it will help motivate them to do the things that you need them to do. Another thing to keep in mind is that because Gemini is always thinking, and I go over this in my book on Gemini children coming out next month, they have this constant mental activity going through their heads. It's making it hard for them to pay attention. They get very overwhelmed and overstimulated easily. So the way to deal with that regarding household tasks is to give them a short list of things to do. They're sprinters rather than marathoners. They need carrots. They need things to look forward to after the tasks are done. So I would recommend you make a list of 2 to 4 tasks for them to do and tell them this is what we need to help me with. And after this, we're going to do something fun. You always talk about the fun things you're going to do after the chores. Gemini children, and all children really, like to know what's coming next. So if you tell your Gemini child, after we get done with this, with these things, we're going to go to the pool or go for a hike or see your friend or play video games, they'll be much more willing to get through the tasks to get to the fun stuff, right? Don't overwhelm them with a laundry list of everything they have to do over the day, the next day, month, or week, or whatever. That just makes them shut down. Okay. The way we handle it in my house is, for example, we say, we're going to declutter this room. We're not going to do it all today. It's too overwhelming. It's too much work. Today we'll clear one shelf or one drawer or one table. That's how you want to consider that. You give them, break larger projects down into smaller chunks, and eventually they get done. They'll be much more willing, your kids will be much more willing to help you if they have kind of an end sight. They can see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Definitely break down bigger projects into smaller, manageable tasks. Also, children are not as efficient as adults yet at doing these household tasks. They don't have the experience or the dexterity yet, right? But so a lot of parents I talk to, will say things like, well, it's easier if I do it. It gets done right. It gets done more quickly. But you have to remember, it's not the end result that you want to keep in mind when you get your kid to help you. It's the process. In the process, they're learning how to do stuff, so that will help them grow up into an independent, self-sufficient adult. So for example, it's happened to us that we've cooked stuff that did not turn out how we wanted to or how we expected it to, but it was a process of cooking, which is educational for the kids, right? So they may not do everything up to your standards, or they may not complete things or do them correctly, but it's a process of doing it that's educational, right? And it may, sometimes take you a little bit longer, but it's imperative that you involve them for their own education, but also for their self-esteem, their self-confidence, that they realize that they can do these things, they can contribute to the family, they can contribute to the household, that they can be more and more independent. And as kids get older, that's essential for their development, as they exhibit increasing independence, self-reliance, self-sufficiency. And as we kind of talked about earlier, doing the chores together is a great bonding experience, right? A strong relationship, including a parent-child relationship, is made up of countless moments of positive connections. So you want to remember that and take, advantage of the time that you do things, those tasks and chores together to bond and have connections. And when your child doesn't do something up to your standards or forgets to do something, and with Gemini, they will forget. They just can't remember everything when they have this constant mental activity going on in their heads. Gently remind them. Don't be negative. Don't criticize. Don't, make them feel bad for forgetting. Just gently remind them, and eventually they will remember. Hey, please remember to pick up your towel after the shower. No big deal. We all forget once in a while. You remember next time. Just please remember to do that in the future. And let it go. Okay, so don't make them feel bad. They're not going to be motivated to help if you make them feel bad because they don't help enough, or their way of helping is deficient or defective somehow. So those are the main tips. Short lists. Break big tasks up into short chunks. Also, as your kids get older, let them decide when they do the work. Give them the short list and say, you can decide when you do this. It needs to be done today. or it needs to be done, this whole list needs to be done by the end of the week, but you can decide when you do certain things, if that's appropriate for the task. So you want to keep all of that in mind when you are trying to motivate your Gemini child to help out at home. I always say this, always prioritize your connection and relationship with your child, right? Don't be a Nazi about chores at home. I have run into parents who had a lot of arbitrary rules at home, like don't do this, don't do that, use a decorative pillow, use only these towels to dry your hands, not these. And it's a lot to remember, especially for a Gemini child who's always in his head. He can't remember all that stuff all the time. And for kids, home needs to be a safe space where they can totally relax, totally be themselves, speak to the parents about whatever's on their mind, not feel like they're constantly being monitored to follow the rules. So keep that in mind. Relax the rules at home. You probably have been relaxing the rules these past several months that we've been home, with everybody's been home. Just remember that always prioritize a relationship with your kids. If, things need to be done and you're tired, and it's okay to leave dishes in the sink when you go to bed, or the laundry not washed. It will get washed eventually. Go do something with your kid. Go sit down and watch TV or play a board game together. Always prioritize the relationship and connection with your kids. And when you do that, and you have that strong foundation of a strong parent-child relationship, your kids will naturally want to help you more because of that connection. So always make sure you prioritize the connection. That's the main message I want to leave you with. We will be back soon with more content. Meanwhile, I will put the link for my book on Scorpio children, which is available at all major retailers, in the comments below. And I'll put my link for my upcoming Gemini child book also in the comments. So thanks for your support, and I will see you soon.